Welcome back to the USF Oracle Sports Podcast. My name is Mithil Vyas. I am the sports editor here, and I'm joined today by Tobey Blair, assistant sports editor.
Hello, I'm here today.
We are also joined by Rachell Ross, multimedia editor, and Cole. I forgot how to say your last name. Abruzzese? Yeah. There we go. Who will be manning the cameras and all fun stuff over there.
All the stuff that I don't do.
All the stuff that we do not do. We just sit here and talk because that's what we do. Big talkers over here.
Big talking heads over here.
You know what rhymes with talking? Shocking. Which describes the USF men's basketball loss on Sunday.
That's what you're going to do?
To Wichita State.
They played the Shockers, and you're going to do that?
Well, I was going to continue it with who are also called the Shockers. But
keep going.
No, it's fine. Take me through that a little bit, Tobey.
I mean, another bad overtime loss. You lose by 1 point again. I mean, you just can't. I mean, there's a certain point where you just can't have that. You're 11-7 on the season. Wichita State's 11-8. Really fighting to kind of stay alive here in a lot of different ways. I mean, it's still early, but it's getting to the point where you can't keep saying that. I think the close losses like this are just the ones that have absolutely killed this team's momentum. Obviously, you're on a big win streak going into this, a good few games, and then you're just taking close losses. It's not something you can really do.
Yeah, and this game was kind of at the start from when I was watching it and I was there. It looked like the Bulls had no clue what they were doing. They're kind of running around with their heads cut off. They couldn't make a 2, a 3, or anything to save their life.
Shocking.
But they were down 15 pretty early on. It was like 30
to 15. They were down 15. I
think it was 31-16.
Wow. That does math.
But that was like with 9 minutes left in the first half. And I was watching and I was like, wow, this is not looking good. It's going to be a blowout. And little did I know the Bulls would go on a 33-8 run from the end of the first half to, I think, like 5 or 6 minutes into the second. But then things faltered, mistakes were made, and defense just kind of crumbled. USF could not stop the center, number 44, I forgot his name, for Wichita State. Man, is he tall. He is very tall. I don't know his exact height, but wow. They could not stop him, do anything against him. He was just unstoppable in the paint. Also, offensive rebounds, USF, they could not do a single thing against Wichita State. The Shockers ended up with, I totally lost it.
No, you got this.
I lost it.
He's got his stats pulled up. He knows ball.
I lost it.
17 offensive rebounds?
17 offensive rebounds. Thank you. But, yeah, in the paint, from what I was watching, is USF, they could get like a hand on the ball, and then it would just go away, and they couldn't grab it. Not something you want to see happen, especially with players like Damian Collins and Isaiah Nelson on the court. But obviously, it's something Brian Hodgson will talk about with the team. And looking forward, we'll have to make some adjustments on definitely the defensive side of the ball, which he's kind of harped on this entire season, is they need to improve defensively, especially on the glass. And after watching that game, it was kind of apparent for all of the fans there. I think it was the most fans that the men's team has had this year. It was around like 5,000 or something. But USF, they did come back. They had a 15-point lead in the second half, but then ultimately fell in overtime. And I don't know if you saw it, but wow, there were some pretty big and bad mistakes by Wes Enos and Josh Omojifo.
Yeah, so I have heard. Well, I think that there's just a certain point where, especially when you're continuously playing games like this, where you can't make mistakes like that. You can't have these close games come down to can the other team play mistake free? You need the other team to beat you. If a team just straight up beats you, that happens. College basketball, that happens. Sometimes you're just going to go out there and you're going to play a team that's just going to beat you. But when you beat yourself with bad mistakes, it's not a recipe for success, because these are ultimately, everybody on this court is a Division I athlete, and if you make those kind of mistakes that give other like great athletes the opportunity to capitalize. It's just not going to go well for you. One thing that I think that I've noticed with this team is, despite the feeling that there's a lot of depth, they run a very short rotation. I think eight guys got minutes. Here, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 9 guys get minutes, but you have 2 guys that get 5 and 6 minutes. It's the majority. I mean, Isaiah Nelson is 32 minutes, 7 points. Wes Ennis 39 minutes, 14 points. CJ Brown 39 minutes, 16 points. Joseph Pinion 38 minutes, 21 points. Josh Omahafo has 38 minutes and 17 points. I mean, like these guys are playing a lot, but it's making the team so top heavy that sometimes if you get if you have a guy like Isaiah Nelson who 7 points, 9 rebounds, but maybe he's not converting like he'd like to. You're kind of, you have a guy that's kind of taken out of the game there. I mean, you're playing, I think that this team has the depth to play with depth. You don't need 4 guys playing over 35 minutes. I understand it went to overtime, of course, but like I don't know that you need 4 guys playing over 35 minutes. I think that down the stretch, if you've played like sports, you understand that when you get deep into a game, you're more likely to make mistakes if you've been playing long. You're tired,
Yeah.
you're just kind of you're exhausted there, and I think that could be maybe a cause of some of these late game mistakes that the Bulls are making here.
Yeah, and like you were saying, especially with Isaiah Nelson there, I think it was a little interesting decision for what they did in overtime. To try and win the game, obviously the Bulls inbounded it. There's like maybe 10 seconds left, or 8 seconds, something like that. They inbounded it to him, Isaiah Nelson, who's been playing, like you just said, 35, 38 minutes?
32 minutes, 7 points, 9 rebounds, 1 assist.
Yeah, and so obviously he's going to be a little tired because he's been playing, like we said, most of the game. So he decides to take a shot, actually a kind of weird shot. So they gave it to him outside the arc, and then he kind of runs in, which is an interesting strategy from him, considering obviously he's a big man for the Bulls, but he runs into, like I was saying earlier, the Wichita State center, who I found it, Will Berg, 7'2". Wow,
Good guy.
He's big. He's not like skinny and lanky either. He's like,
oh my god,
he's built. He's huge. Like if you're looking,
he had 23 minutes, 15 rebounds.
Yeah,
5 points.
It was nuts.
You're 7'2". You better get a bunch of boards.
And Isaiah Nelson just kind of like runs into him and then tries to go under the hoop and around and underneath. Doesn't happen. Wilberg is not having any of it. And boom, that's the game over. So there's one mistake that kind of the Bulls have made there in this game. They've given it to their big man for the game on the line. Going into overtime, another inbound, Josh Omojifo. He's all the way on the one side of the court. There's 2 seconds left. The game's tied. It's about to go to overtime. So he's looking to throw it down to half court so the Bulls can try and get a shot off. You know what he does? He just throws it out of bounds. Completely misses it.
Yeah, and for the viewer, if you throw the ball out of bounds, the other team typically gets it. So not exactly a winning formula. But I don't know. I think it's just close games like this. You can't, because those are the demoralizers. Sometimes when you get, when you walk in and you play like a really good team, and you just get your butt kicked, it's like whatever. That's what happens. But when you lose these close games to teams that you could beat, like Wichita State is not some unbeatable force of college basketball. Neither is USF, but they're a beatable team in a schedule when you need beatable. You need to beat the beatable teams. You got to do what you can do, and they just seemingly couldn't do it. But I mean, that's just those are the games that are going to cost you, because it's like if you make one different play, It's a different game. You're 12-6 compared to 11-7. And it doesn't seem like a big difference, but it is. I think one thing that I've noticed watching South Florida basketball this year, and you kind of talk about it a little bit in your like end of game play, is they don't seem to run that much through like a system. Mm-hmm. It kind of reminds me of last year with Ben Fletcher, when it would be give the ball to Jameel Reynolds and or Jaden Reed, and then let him hold it for 30 seconds and do whatever he really wants to do. I think that this style of basketball has seemingly been kind of the same, where it's like, and not to that extent, but just where you have guys that are kind of, like it doesn't seem like they're playing as much in structure. And I think the issue is it's a double-edged sword, because when you have a guy like let's say Joseph Pinion, and he had 21 points, but let's say you have a guy like Joseph Pinion or Wes Ennis or CJ Brown who's really hot, then it works because, you can just feed the hot hand. But when nobody can drop 32, it seems like this team has a problem with everybody putting in their little, and that's what I mean when I say all of these guys have 17, 21, 16, 14, and obviously Isaiah Nelson has 7, but he has 9 rebounds. All of these guys have that, and then it just drops off. The next highest point scorer after that is 6 points, Devin Hade. It's not a recipe for success to have all of your points come from your starting 5, in my opinion. That's just a basketball philosophy thing. I always ran deep rotations when I would build franchises in 2K. So shout out 2K16. But I don't know. It's just not. I just don't know that it's a recipe for success, and it seems to be continuously kind of the reason that they fall behind.
Yeah, I would say I have to agree on that specifically, and it's come down to this kind of, will Hodgson kind of make a choice of, hey, I want some other guys to play now, like Tristan Beckford or Adriel Niora, I think, some of the younger guys that can get some minutes there and possibly get some action going when the Bulls are stagnant, both on offense or defense. And then I know I talked about it a little bit earlier, but like you were saying, with Wes Ennis and Joseph Pinion and these guys getting like covered after they're basically the majority of the offense. You see Wes Ennis basically in overtime, there's 30 seconds left. They're going down, and at midcourt, he's kind of, actually the Bulls are up right here. It was 85-84. And he just kind of stops at midcourt and he's dribbling it. All right. So you think, okay, he's going to hold it out. The Bulls are going to win. No. He just kind of gives it away. The Wichita State defender just runs up, takes it, and then goes for a free layup. And boom. Then they have to go down. The Bulls have to go down, and then they have to inbound it to, like I said, Isaiah Nelson, who just can't get it done. And it's just kind of like, why are these mistakes happening? Are they not aware? Are they tired? Is it a player thing? Is it what does it ultimately come down to? But I think Brian Hodgson said after the game, if I can find it, he said something about it.
This guy was trying to find stuff. He doesn't have his stuff ready. He's always trying to find it.
I look, he forgot. But it's okay. He said something about it. You guys can find it on our story at usforacle.com.
There you go.
Boom.
All part of his plan to get you to go to the website.
Exactly.
To read the article. I don't know. I think it's probably a little bit of everything. A little bit of coaching, a little bit of players, a little bit of exhaustion. It's not easy. I just think there does come a certain point where you can't do that. But speaking of close basketball losses,
women's basketball.
Yesterday for us, a few days ago, for anybody listening to this, USF women's basketball drops what was described in the press release as a heartbreaker to 8-10, I guess 7-10 at the time, Temple. Obviously, USF is 12-8, was 12-7 going into the game. What is it up? What's up with USF basketball and just close losses this week, I guess?
I don't know. I think it's it doesn't come down to a minutes thing there with women's basketball. For them, it comes down to from what I saw was the free throws. They gave up way too many. I think they gave up 27.
They've got lots of diversity in the minutes.
Oh yeah, which is good.
27 free throws. Temple made 20. So
20 out of 27
points off of free throws is incredible.
And that ultimately came down to them winning by those 3 points.
I mean, yeah, almost a fourth of their points came from free throws. I'm not as sure what the issue with women's basketball is. I don't think it's as easily identifiable as men's basketball. And I don't even know that I'd say they're necessarily. I think that they're dropping more games than they would like to, and then especially like I was Mr. Women's Basketball last year. I covered so much women's basketball. I think also the difference is Jose Fernandez is gone.
Yeah, and
maybe this team isn't playing to the expectation that Jose Fernandez would, but that's kind of the way you got. Woods Baxter, who's by no means a bad coach. Obviously, they're still 12-8. I think that for women's basketball, the expectation is much higher than it is for maybe like men's basketball. Men's basketball, they're 11-7, and you're like, cool. Phew, thank goodness, especially after last year. But women's basketball, I think a lot of that like panic or like freaking out comes from that expectation being so high, and it's just not there. But I mean, still from your normal guys, girls, I guess. Carla Brito, 31 minutes, 20 points, 9 rebounds, 4 assists. I mean, oh my goodness, what a stat line!
And she actually
that's a WNBA stat line right there.
She became the part of program history there with the first points of the game. She scored a 3, and she actually had a career high 5 3-pointers made. But she became the 29th player in USF history to reach 1,000 career points. And
they shot good from 3 too. They went 8 for 12, 66% from 3. I mean, you can't ask for much better than that. I mean, that's pretty. But I mean, yeah. But I think here you're the people that you need to play are playing well. Like Mputu, obviously 14 points, 7 rebounds in 21 minutes. Eden Battle, 29 minutes, 12 points, 6 assists. I think that it's just a growing pain for them. Obviously, you're also missing, from last year. And this team, it's one of the beautiful things about women's basketball is it seems like every single time this game, every single season, it's a completely different team, as is with college basketball nowadays. But, I mean, yeah, I think that you're missing a Sammy Puisis or a Mama Dembele, and you have a Brito, but I don't know.
Lauren Putu.
You do have, yeah. I don't know that it's
not like a Sammy Puisis level.
I don't think it's the same. I mean, because Sammy Puisis was kind of like give her the ball, she'll score. She had her cold streaks throughout, but I think for the most part it was kind of just like Puisis was always somebody you could go to. You could just I mean, so many. I can't remember what game it was. But there was a shot where she hit. There was a game where she hit a shot from like the logo, and it was like,
oh yeah,
late in overtime. I was there. I was covering it. I just don't remember the specific game.
I think it was Rice.
It was Rice.
Okay,
there you go. This guy, I was there. He knows more than me. But it was incredible. It was just like because and so you talk about that with men's basketball. You talk about with women's basketball last year. The play was give the ball to Sammy Puisis and let her shoot it from wherever she wants to shoot it from. I don't know that you have a guy like that or a girl, I guess. Guy colloquially. I don't know that you have a player like that can just take over the game in the way that could, and sometimes that's good and sometimes it's bad. But they're playing well as a team. Obviously, this loss is not like a defining loss for them. I think it's more so the opponent in Temple.
Yeah, and I think they're still third in the conference standings at the moment, but
because how often are you thinking about Temple?
Not often.
Not often. They're 5-2 in the conference. They're fine. They're third.
Yeah, but I mean, obviously,
oh my goodness, Rice is on a heater.
Women's basketball was projected to be first again after winning it last year, and you're making a crazy face over there.
Can we talk about this? Rice is 16-3, and they've won 11 straight. What are they?
What?
What are they feeding them down there?
Whoa.
What do they feed them over there in Texas?
I wasn't aware of that.
I wasn't aware of that either. I mean, okay, good for you, Rice. Okay. My bad. I guess I don't know ball because I was not aware that Rice had won 11 straight. I'm sure USF was part of that at some point, but
December 30th. They lost by 2.
So yeah,
and they play again in a few weeks on February 17th.
In September, they play in Feb
17th.
Play in Feb. So I mean, but you're still poised, and that's what I mean. Where the panic is not that set in because you're still very poised. You just can't keep taking losses like that to like Temple, who is 2-4 in the conference.
Yeah,
it's
just an unfortunate loss. I mean, looking at the box score, you can see like by period 16-16, 25-19, 25-26, and then the fourth, USF just kind of faltered, 17 against Temple's 25. So maybe that comes down to maybe a tiredness thing, but also they have a good enough rotation. So
that rotation is very spread out. 12-year-old me would be proud. Mike Corzemba would be proud of that rotation and how spread out it is.
But no, I mean, it's good what they're doing. They definitely have their stuff set up.
Kenny King the fourth quarter, he'd be proud. That's a good regular season rotation. No, but I think with them, I mean, sometimes you just drop games. It happens.
It happens.
It happens. This is not everybody can be Rice, I guess.
No, I guess not. Not everyone can be conference champion or national champion, dare I say. And this weekend, actually Monday, we saw Indiana crowned national champion. A little off topic from USF here, but
have I missed talking about some college football on the podcast.
Even though we did talk about it last week.
No, but it wasn't the same. It wasn't the same.
But Indiana
games for talking about transfers and all that junk.
Indiana, for the first time since the 1800s, has won a national championship.
No, you've got your stat wrong. Indiana is 16-0 for the first time since like 1894 when Yale. They've never been national champions.
Yo.
Dude, he doesn't know anything about college football.
Oh, no.
Indiana, though,
wrong thing.
Genuinely, what a story. I like to consider myself a little bit of a football purist, so I'm very glad that Indiana won. I love Chris Ignetti. Chris Ignetti, if you want to come on the podcast, just let me know. We can probably fit you in to our very busy schedule. But no, I mean, just what an incredible game. It was... I think going into the game, and so I kind of like to, going into the game, I thought that Indiana would have it by at least, I said 10-14. I didn't think it was going to be necessarily close. Going out of the game, honestly, looking back on it, a little bit removed from the excitedness of watching them win a national title, Miami played a better game. But the problem with playing a better game against Indiana, I maybe Ohio State played a better game against Indiana, the Big Ten title too. The issue is that when you make a mistake, Indiana will capitalize. You have the blocked punt, Carson Beck's interception at the end of the game. I mean, you can't do that against Indiana because they will capitalize. They're just too well coached. That team is one of the most disciplined football teams or college football teams that I've ever put my eyes on. And Miami is... certainly not disciplined.
Miami is Miami.
Miami's Miami. But what a game. Very glad to have been able to witness it. Yeah. I mean, there's so much to say about that game, but it was just an incredible game.
It was honestly a lot more refreshing than I thought it was going to be. For me, I thought it was going to be a blowout. Like you kind of said, I thought it was going to be like a 14-point lead for not Miami, Indiana. But I'm glad it was closer than I originally thought it would be. And I think that came down to Indiana made some mistakes, but like you said, they obviously capitalized on it. And that Miami kind of shot themselves in the foot a little bit with some of the mistakes that they made. The missed field goal, like you said, the blocked punt, and then Carson Beck at the end. I don't know what his thought process was, but
I mean, that's an NFL throw, and he's not an NFL quarterback. He just left it maybe 15 yards short,
and I don't think he ever saw the safety.
It was the corner. The safety was coming over, and the corner dropped back.
But I mean, it's just completely underthrown, and the corner was allowed to drop back into kind of the zone. But
yeah, there was nobody in the flat, so the corner can just run vertical there, and then he just he either thinks he can fit it over him or just never sees him. And the beautiful thing is that it doesn't matter what he thought, because he threw an interception. Yeah, I mean, what a season for Miami, though. Apparently, I'm hearing from sources that the U is back. I don't know. We'll have to see if Darian Mensah is allowed to leave Duke, which he shouldn't be. But
that's an interesting and sore subject for some.
It's a very sore subject for some. I'm super upset. I just don't know what his deal is. Won an ACC title.
Over Miami,
yeah. They didn't even make the ACC title. But anyway, I don't know. I think that the U is certainly back. I mean, Malachi Toney is one of the most impressive football players I've ever seen. We watched him, obviously, when he played USF, and it was incredible. Watched him in the national championship. He was a little quiet in the beginning, and then I think they kind of found his footing. They found out how to scheme him open and get him touches. And once he did, he was incredible. Mark Fletcher Jr., another just absolutely remarkable football player. Carson Beck was also there.
He was also there.
CJ Daniel, I mean, they have such a roster. But Indiana does too. Fernando Mendoza, the number one pick. He's a very pro style kind of. He's got a professional handle to him. I think it's going to be interesting, because of how watered down especially it was incredible to see how many RPOs they were running, how many quick passes. Certainly not an NFL style quarterback in that way, but I think that will be interesting to see. How does he acclimate when he gets drafted first overall by the Raiders?
Probably not well by the amount of times he gets sacked. In his first season. But when watching that game kind of reminded me of a Kirk Cousins, but a little more athletic.
Cousins with a little bit of swagger.
Yeah. And I have plenty of experience watching Kirk Cousins as a Vikings fan, but Mendoza kind of looked a little like Kirk Cousins, but more put together a little bit. No offense to Kirk Cousins. I love Kirk Cousins, but wow, he would make plays that Kirk Cousins could not make, especially that touchdown run. No.
That was
sensational.
Oh
to
my
say the least.
goodness! I mean, I remember I watching that, and first of all, just Cignetti, the pair on you to just call a quarterback draw on 4th and 5 with relatively the game kind of not on the line, but this can really shut the game out. And then Fernando Mendoza runs into the left side, is staring down a safety, runs over a linebacker, does a full spin, and then spear dives into the end zone, getting just at his back absolutely crushed in the meantime. I mean, just like, and that's the kind of thing where it's just like, how can you not love this sport? How can you not love football? When you see stuff like that, I don't know, because it was absolutely incredible. Kalen Black is Indiana's running back, is a really underrated piece of that offense. He had 17 carries, 79 yards. Incredible performance by him. He's been a dog all year.
And Hemby. And
another dog, Charlie Becker.
Oh my God.
Cannot drop a pass to save his life, man.
Dude, those like few plays. They ran that same play at least 4 times.
Yeah, just a little back shoulder ball.
Yeah, he runs a fade.
This guy can't drop it.
And he comes back, boom. And it's just there, and he actually, I don't think he's dropped a ball all year is what they said.
This guy
I was like,
can't drop.
That was insane.
He's incredible. Just an incredible team. I think the biggest thing, maybe the USF angle here, is that if Indiana can do it, I think it's kind of become apparent in college football that really anybody can do it. Obviously, you need the parts. You need the Mendozas, and you need the Cignettis, and you need the Hembys, and the Kalen Blacks, and the Charlie Beckers of the world, and all of that. But at the same time, like, anybody can do this. Anybody can go out there and win a national championship at this point in college football. The parity is there. Yeah, even Rachell. She's pointing at herself right now. Rachell just hired as the USF head coach.
Yeah, Rachell.
She can
there we
win. There you go. See, she's going to win a national title next year. Heard it here first. But really, anybody can do it. Miami certainly will be back. But sometimes I just like to relish in their defeat. I just not a big fan of
And I think
football.
Oh, definitely a lot of people do too. But
so I've heard.
So I've heard as well.
So I've heard.
But you said you had something for the other thing?
Yeah, but it was supposed to be the other way around. So you go ahead and you go ahead and take it from here.
I see. Well,
you see.
The other thing that we're talking about is national champions, USF, in cheerleading. USF claims the program's 10th and 11th championship, which is kind of insane to think about. In the last 6 years, they've claimed 11 world or national championships. And the USF all-girl cheer team, they got their 4th national championship. And the co-ed team got their 4th national championship as well in the Division I large co-ed category. I mean, I obviously don't know a lot about how it gets scored and all of that. I do know a little bit about gymnastics because I have watched that, but maybe it's the same. I don't know, but
a national title is a national title. Someone put it in the Leroy Selman building.
And they will.
And they will.
They'll put the championship. They'll put the trophy there. They have plenty of trophies.
They do have plenty of trophies. If you've ever been, it's a cool building. But no, I mean, yeah, I think that I think that for them, it's just one of those things that is kind of incredible for a school to have sports like that you're so dominant in, that you're just kind of, you just kind of put together really remarkable teams. And like Mithil said, and I won't pretend like I do, not a ton of knowledge about this. I'm really, if you can't tell my analysis of the national championship compared to my analysis of the cheer national championship that USF won, they will be a little different. I certainly have a little bit more to say about one, but felt worth mentioning and is deeply impressive from a standpoint of somebody who attends the University of South Florida.
Definitely. And kind of watching them during men's basketball games, women's basketball games, when they come out and they do some of their routine, it's very impressive to see the strength and coordination that they have working in tandem. I would never be able to do that, but
there are a lot of moments where there's a lot of moments at basketball games where you witness somebody and you go, wow, I couldn't do that.
And a lot of those come from basketball itself.
And everything else.
Sometimes
you see a guy house a hot dog real quick, and you're like, "Wow,
I couldn't do that."
Yeah,
exactly.
You see a guy, he's drank about 4 beers and he's had about 4 hot dogs, and you're like, "They're still serving this guy, and he's just down and pounding hot dogs." I couldn't do that. So you see a lot of USF basketball, exotic place. See a lot of stuff you probably couldn't do.
That's true. A lot of people that are great in the Yingling Center there, but I think that'll do it for this podcast today.
He almost let me get.
Dear old viewer, but I don't have anything specific for closing remarks, but thank you for listening and watching, and please go check out usforacle.com where we do most of our work.
Go Hoosiers, I guess.
I guess.